Timmy K, get ready for the Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies on a gorgeous night here in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park. Historically a home run hitter's park, which lights up the eyes of guys like the former most valuable player, Christian Yelich. And it probably doesn't sit too poorly with last year's MVP. That's Bryce Harper. It has been 10 years since Bryce Harper started to play Major League Baseball. As we welcome you to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, our telecast tonight is presented by Taco Bell.
With the first selection, the Washington Nationals select
number 34, Bryce Harper.
There's number 1.
2012 National League Rookie of the Year.
You sure he's 19?
That's a clown question, bro.
We are tied.
There it is. Bryce Harper has won the home run derby.
Oh my God! Deep to right field. Grand slam, Bryce Harper.
That was sick.
Wow! And he gives those Phillies fans a chance to jump up and down one more time.
They have lined up outside. They'll soon be inside. A little late arriving crowd on Saturday. This has been a very good series back and forth with two teams that certainly have high aspirations for the upcoming season. Mentioned earlier that number 3, Bryce Harper, is in the lineup. He's the designated hitter, and he's kind enough to wear a microphone and an earpiece for us tonight. And he joins us now. 10 years ago on Thursday, you make your Major League debut, Bryce. What do you remember about that night?
OV.
Hey, Bryce, you got me now? It's Carl Ravitch up in our booth.
Dance around the bases all day, boy.
Yeah.
Come on.
The earpiece may not be working yet. We'll get to Bryce Harper shortly and ask him about the fact that he's been around for 10 years and is set to play again tonight as the designated hitter. That's David Cohn. That's Eduardo Perez. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. Let's talk about Harper, because this was the MVP last year. He started when he was 19. He's only 29 now, and some would say still in his prime years.
He is still in his prime years. And look, if you look at what he has done offensively leading up to last season and still this season, he is a guy that can handle the pitch inside really well. And when he's going well, he's driving the ball to left center field. That's something that all of us analysts look at when he's at the plate.
All right, hugs all around. Bryce, you got me now? It's Carl Ravitch up in our booth.
Yep, I got you.
All right, so I asked the question. I think the earpiece wasn't in yet. 10 years ago Thursday, you make your debut. What do you remember about that night in Los Angeles?
Oh, man, just really excited, really happy. My whole family was able to be there, and what a great moment to be able to open up so close to home so all my family and friends could be there. And I definitely remember that day, and what a great feeling it was to, get my dream going and, play the game of baseball.
And how would you describe the first 10 years? Think about that. We'll talk to you a little bit later on, and that will be one of the questions we'll ask you. Thanks, Bryce.
All right, thanks, guys.
And thanks so much for doing this as we continue. First pitch on the other side. And pick your side. You're going to take the arms of the Brewers. You're going to take the big bats of the Philadelphia Phillies. Buster Olney joins us as well as we kick off Sunday Night Baseball here on ESPN. Celebrating a birthday here tonight, the Philly fanatic turns 44. Our telecast of Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. Yeah, we had a birthday party earlier today. We had tennis balls being dropped on keyboards. We had arrows. We had a whole bunch of kids out there, and a huge birthday cake, which Coney's had his eye on since that thing was wheeled out there. Welcome again to our booth. We'll have Buster Olney shortly. Bryce Harper rejoins us in the third inning. Eduardo Perez, David Cohn. Let's take a look at these teams. Brewers off to a good start, 9-6. Philadelphia 6-9, and the lineup for Milwaukee looks like this. They've gone back and forth. In fact, both teams with regards to batting order. Andrew McCutchen will lead things off, but Christian Yelich will bat in the 2-hole, and he's going to be the designated hitter tonight.
He is, and so far this season has struggled as a designated hitter, but he needs to hit the ball in the air. Look, he's making hard contact. He's done that all season long. He leads the league in that hard hit rate. But most importantly, he needs to catch that ball out in front in order to elevate the baseball. He's allowed it to travel, and because of that, he's hitting it deep, and it's going on the ground. He needs to get that launch angle up, and if he does so, he is that circle guy in the lineup that you don't want to let beat you.
All right, and here's the guy that is going to try to beat him with every pitch he throws. What will we see from Nola tonight, Tony?
Well, he is a workhorse. Over the last 5 years, he's thrown more innings than anybody in Major League Baseball, over 680 innings, and he likes pitching at home, too. He's got a 3.18 career ERA at home, and the thing about Nola is you look for that great curveball. So stylish the way he spins that curveball, but with every curve comes a good fastball, and you can see on the left, the four seam and the curve kind of tunneling in together. In the middle, the sinker and the curve looking very alike until the last minute. And then on the right, the curve and the cutters. He's mixing in a cutter a little bit more this year, but you know what he uses to set up that curve is really important because that really protects his curveball, as Buster Olney talked about before. And to me, I like that middle one, that curveball and sinker in the middle. Boy, those look alike and tunnel together very well.
The longer the red and the blue hang together, the more difficult it is for the hitter. So you got McCutchen, Yelich, and Adames to lead things off. Game 3 of this series. Each team has won one. On the infield, which has been a bit of a challenge for the Phillies. Alec Bohm will be at third. Johan Camargo is at short. Looks like Didi Gregorius, who's got a bad left hand, is going to come back real soon. Gene Segura, Rhys Hoskins, and around the outfield, Schwarber in left field. Matt Vierling will play center, and Nick Castellanos will be in right field with Harper the designated hitter. And we are in Philadelphia because the home plate umpire, Angel Hernandez, when introduced, was booed. So
they know. They know.
They are astute. They are sharp. And they like to see Nola get off to a fast start. The first one to McCutchen on its way. And he swings the first one, which he has been doing an awful lot this season, in a center, and it's in the glove of Vierling. Now, he is not walking nearly as much as he has, and he is being far more aggressive with his 47% swing rate. And here comes Christian Yelich off to a 204 start, a home run, 10 RBIs, and a couple of doubles. The Phillies will go into a defensive shift and move Bohm over between first and second. You like that? I mean, first pitch, one, we're good.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
So Camargo's the only guy between third and second base as the pitch to Yelich misses down. 1-0. 28-year-old all-star back in 2018. For a while, it looked like Aaron Nola's ascension to the upper ranks of the pitching world was going to be something that the Philly fans could glom onto with all the great pitching history they have in this building, in this city. 1 ball, 1 strike as he fouled it straight back.
It's so early in the season. You look at Nola's numbers. One bad start kind of skewed the whole thing. Pitched very well in Colorado.
Next one, and he spins one in there, and Yelich fouls it at the plate. That a DH versus playing in the field and hitting. Challenge for Yelich, something you look forward to every couple of days?
I don't think he looks forward to it. His last time he DH'd was last Friday. And oh, by the way, struck out 4 times in the game. Went 1 for 3 the previous time with 1 strikeout and a base hit.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Realmuto. And another one put up in the air, and Matt Vierling is 2 for 2 to start the game. Number 3 hitter for the Brewers is going to be Willy Adames, the shortstop. Rowdy Tellez, who's been their offensive guy with regards to the ball going over the wall, is in the on-deck circle as Nola tries to go 1-2-3 here in the first.
Just let's keep an eye on the way they're going to continue to pitch Christian Yelich during the game, because you have Willy Adames hitting behind him. Not a lot of threat when it comes to power. 1 home run so far this season.
First one to Adames, and that is pulled foul. 3 on the left side of the infield. As the Phillies shift again.
You can see why Adames is so aggressive early in the count there. First pitch hacking, and the graphic tells the story there. After 0-1, what his batting average is.
He hit the ball hard, a career high 45% hard hit rate last year. That one is a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. With a changeup at 85, he hasn't thrown a ton of changeups.
You guys saw in that upper left quadrant, the positioning of the Phillies, and again, very aggressive against the Milwaukee Brewers' first 3 hitters. We used to not see a lot of overshifting on against the right-handed hitters, but the last couple years, it's definitely.
That one's in there. Yeah, that was a sinker that seemed to elevate at 92. So change up sinker to Adames. He's 26 years old, from the Dominican, drafted by the Tigers back in 14, debuted with the Rays in 18, and last year 25 homers, 73 runs batted in. Back to a more conventional fielding position, and that one just missed off the outside. Gene Segura has been the best fielder for the Phillies as you take a look at our pitch tracker upper left, and it did miss. Other than Segura, though, at second, and Real Muto behind the plate, it's not been a good defensive team behind the pitchers. That's inside. That'll send Adames to first, and the first base runner tonight with a walk. If you use the metric outs above average, only Segura at +10 since 2021 is in the good side. They have been hurt at shortstop. Now Didi's coming back, but again, all those numbers, center field is a push, and Real Muto is a very good defensive catcher. Does that do anything to you as you go onto the mound?
You know, it's if you're a front runner, you love them when they're hitting and they're hitting home runs,
right,
and then you second guess when the errors are made behind you. So you got to take the good with the bad, and you kind of have that mindset going in. Give me the run support, and I'll deal with the defense, and I'll miss some bats if I have to.
Rowdy Tellez steps in, 27 years old, out of Sacramento, California. And he's got 3 home runs, 8 RBIs early this season. Really good arm. We talk all the time about pop time for a catcher. Real Muto still one of the best in baseball, and getting that ball in his glove and down to the man covering on a potential stolen base.
And if there is that potential attempt of a stolen base, you have to then, if you're Aaron Nola, go towards third base. It's your responsibility with the overshift. Again, Bone being in short right field, it's his responsibility to get to third to make sure the base runner does not try to then take that extra base with nobody covering it.
Outfield straightaway. Center fielder Vierling shaded a little towards left, and the shift on the infield as that one is thrown behind, and they got him. There's that pop time. Real Muto was aware of it. He fired down to Hoskins, and they caught Willy Adames sleeping at first base.
Take that secondary lead. You come back. You better respect the arm. Rhys Hoskins waiting for Willy Adames at first base. Hasta luego.
They're getting ready for the Sixers to try to end their first series. They're getting ready for the draft, but right now they're immersed in Philadelphia Philly baseball. Terrific sports fans here in this city. The lineup, like for Joe Girardi: Segura, Hoskins, Harper, Castellanos, Real Muto, and Schwarber. Schwarber's batted leadoff. Alec Boehm, Johan Camargo, and Matt Vierling. This is a team that does dominate against lefties. Really, really high OPS against them, and they're going to get a good one here in Eric Lauer. He's overshadowed by Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff, Peralta, and Hader, and a lot of guys in the Brewers.
Yeah, don't overlook Eric Lauer, and he's cleaned up his arm action. He's shortened it up, and his velocity, coincidentally, has gone up with that cleaned up arm action.
First pitch to Segura, outside corner. Angel Hernandez raises the right hand. That's strike one. Good numbers so far for the second baseman, not only offensively, but in the field as well, as that pitch misses. All right, Coney, let's get right into it. He's shortened his delivery, his arm path. So why is that a good thing for a pitcher generally, and why are most of them doing it?
Yeah, I mean, Lucas Giolito is one of the first ones we saw kind of do that. And you notice it's about the arm swing. When he takes the ball out of the glove with his throwing arm, it's not as long of an arc. He gets it out and up quicker, and you get in a throwing position quicker so that you can sync that up with your lead land leg. Takes a little more pressure off your elbow. You can drive the ball a little better and generate a little more arm speed that way.
Yeah. His velocity has gone up and up as the next one to Segura is fouled straight back. Fastball at 94, and we'll see if it goes up even a couple more miles as he gets a little warmer. Does the cleaner delivery help with velocity?
Apparently so. I think you could definitely say that. I know Dr. Andrews down in Birmingham was one of the best orthopedic surgeons in the game for years. Talks about that.
Segura center field, and it's right at the center fielder. Tyrone Taylor didn't have to move very much. Hit on a line at 103 miles an hour off the bat. Got a line out. Here's Rhys Hoskins. He's the first baseman. A homer, 4 doubles, a .213 average. And he's got a very high ground ball rate this year. He's hitting it hard. He's hitting it on the ground. And as we all know, in the majors, when you hit it on the ground, regardless of the speed, it can find a glove.
It really can, but then again, look at that red right there. 130 OPS plus, the average 100. This is a guy that when he gets rolling, and we saw it initially when he got to the big leagues, he can start hitting the ball out of the ballpark, especially towards right center field.
A career 860 OPS. A little down to start, but again, all these numbers 2 weeks in, don't put too much stock in them, not even as trends. Girardi said Hoskins plays every day. He loves him in the lineup, and that's in there for a called strike. Curveball at 78.
That's the one you have to respect. If he can throw the curveball for a strike, even on a 2-0 count early in the game, as a hitter, it makes you think now, wow, he can then go whenever he wants with that pitch, even 3-2.
Why are they built on pitching? Well, because you have Cy Young guys up and down. The last time Burns, Woodruff, and Lauer went through the order against the Pirates, 24 strikeouts, 3 earned runs. Burns will be on the mound tomorrow for the Brewers as Lauer's pitch is high.
You have to give a lot of credit to the Brewers organization for developing these pitchers.
Yeah.
Up through the system. They continue to do it. They're doing something well.
Chris Hook is their pitching coach. He's in his 4th season. Popped up and playable. Left fielder McCutchen says, I got it. And the wind blows the ball in his direction. 2 down. Let's bring Bryce Harper to the plate. This designated hitter, 2 homers, 6 doubles on the season. As Eduardo had said, without the DH being universal in the National League, he's likely on the IL with flexor issue in his right elbow. He heard it, or at least felt pain. And they said that's the first time I've ever had arm pain. Imagine how many baseballs Bryce Harper has thrown in his life. He's never had pain in his arm, and he felt it the other night. Scared him a little bit. A 124 OPS plus, understandably. Still one of the most dominant hitters in the game. First one from Lauer. Swings at it and sends it to the seats for a souvenir.
If you've got an elbow injury on your lead arm, Eduardo, what's more important, your trailing arm or your lead arm as far as pressure on your elbow?
The trail arm, as a matter of fact. I mean, I couldn't swing a bat when I had my elbow issue that led actually to surgery. You usually see a lot of right-handed hitters not have any issues with the left elbow if they're swinging the bat. Now, Rhys Hoskins actually had collateral surgery, not the Tommy John, in his left elbow, and he was able to come back 5 months after.
1 ball, 1 strike to Harper. That's a tough one up high, and he will live up there with a cutter. See a lot of guys throw cutters down and away. He lives up in the zone. Here's that swing, Eddie, and that elbow torque. Right elbow again, the one in pain. But he said, I don't feel it when I swing. Caught looking, Harper. Lauer awfully impressive. He gets 2 flyouts, and then Bryce Harper looking at a nasty pitch on the corner. 3 up, 3 down. We'll come back to Philadelphia. We'll see Rowdy Tellez, Hunter Renfroe, and Omar Narvaez after this. Well, both the Phillies and Brewers knew they needed to make some changes for 2022, but they were not going to drive the same truck to the same store. So Milwaukee's best, which has nothing to do with the beer, it has all to do with their arms. Cy Young's up and down, at least as potential goes, and they complemented that with Andrew McCutchen, a former MVP. They have an MVP in Yelich, and they bring in a new right fielder in Renfroe. The Phillies decided in the offseason to just go all wrecking ball, and defense be damned, we're just going to bludgeon teams. So they add Schwarber and Castellanos to Harper, Hoskins, and Real Muto. You have two teams, same goal, different approaches coming into the season based on their needs. Nola will throw to Tellez to start the second. He swings at the first one, and there's nobody over there. Schwarber now charging towards the line, drifting over, and he makes the play in foul territory. Another one pitch at bat for Nola.
How about every controllable out for Aaron Nola has been in the air? You look at the pickoff from Adames from Real Muto, but everything has been soft contact with positive launch angle.
And here's Hunter Renfroe, who had 3 hits yesterday. Big day, home run and a double. He's complained a little bit, like many others. You look around baseball and the home run numbers and the distance the ball is traveling down a little bit as Renfroe looks at the first one, high ball 1. And this one was hit really hard. It didn't exactly climb deep into the seats either in right field, as it just got over the wall into row 1. Called strike.
So you better run out those fly balls, huh, Carl?
That's the point, at least early.
Well, if the ball is indeed traveling not as far this year, then the home run hitters will be identified again.
Yeah. There's a good knuckle curve at 77 from Nola. Remember, Nola, of course, made his name back at LSU when he was an outstanding pitcher, and he got the unique opportunity to play with his brother, Austin Nola. You got to go back to 2009, midway through that year at LSU, and Paul Maneri, the head coach at LSU, his teams lost like 5 games through 40 games. Next one, good one, and Renfroe is gone. Maneri says, I'm going to make a change. The coaches look at him and like, what do you mean you're going to make a change? He said, I'm moving DJ LeMahieu from short to second because we got a better shortstop that's not playing, and it's Austin Nola. And Maneri's starting to get the wheel turning because he knows all about Aaron Nola. Aaron and Austin never played together in high school because Aaron didn't make the varsity team when Austin was a senior. So he's thinking, if I can keep Austin here, and he stayed 4 years, he gets Aaron to commit to LSU, and the two brothers get a chance to play together. He wins the national championship in 09, and Aaron is the pitcher of the year in college baseball in 14. And there he had the wheels working, and he made a shrewd move to move DJ LeMahieu, who every time he goes back to LSU or speaks to Maneri, Paul always says, you still mad at me? He was shocked coming off short, moving to second base in the middle of the season.
And now Nola's brother's a catcher.
And now Nola's brother's a catcher in San Diego.
And LeMahieu's all over the infield in New York.
Exactly. Omar Narvaez. That one is fouled off his foot. Paul Maneri put some teams together at LSU now, didn't he? When he was there.
Pretty good teams. Bregman.
Ronado. Bregman. Kevin Gossman was on the same staff. How about Kevin Gossman and Aaron Nola were on the same staff for a year? 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down, just underway, second inning. Strike 3, high strike, and Angel Hernandez. Coney's up here with his hands up in the air. You're a pitcher, man. Wow.
Go ahead, Coney. Go ahead.
That's a strike.
Just a little bit, huh?
Welcome back. Time for Planning Ahead, brought to you by Voya Financial. Now, they went out and got Nick Castellanos for 5 years and 100, 4 years and 79 for Kyle Schwarber. Kniebel handed Familia now, hoping, Kniebel's been really solid for them, that they can get more consistency out of that bullpen. A lot of folks in Philadelphia were asked the question, so would you take Castellanos and Schwarber for $179 million or Bryant for even more? 2 or 1. Castellanos hits it hard again. And he is on base with a single. He's been outstanding so far this season, hitting .321 with 3 homers and 5 doubles, so 8 of his hits had gone for extra base hits.
Tell you what, you try to throw that slider in, and Nick has the ability to be able to just keep the ball fair. One of the few players in the game that still gets that ball out in front, throws those hands, and has a knack and an idea of what he wants to do at the plate. Very good back control, both to right field and left.
Likes lefties too. Boy, he hits good off of left-handed pitching.
And here comes JT Realmuto already with a terrific throw down to first to nail Willie Adames, who was caught leaning. First pitch called strike 1. Angel Hernandez, again the home plate umpire. It's a pitcher zone tonight so far. Realmuto is as fast a catcher as there is in baseball, so not an easy guy to double up. Swing and a miss there, and a good pitch at 93.
It's a great point, Carl. I mean, Realmuto might be the best athlete on the field, and how often do you say that about a catcher?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, when he first signed with the Marlins as a shortstop, they're like, nope, you're going right behind the plate. Quarterback in high school, understands and has a really good feel for the game.
Behind 0-2, his numbers you saw, 1 for 11 in his career against Lauer, who comes inside and misses.
As a hitter right now, and Realmuto's thinking, he takes a step back. All right, that most likely is a purpose pitch inside. Try to get me to look away. Might throw something soft. Let's see how Narvaez and Lauer decide to handle this next pitch. Got lucky there, he missed a spot. Supposed to stay away instead. Pitch went glove side. See the spin, see the dot, stayed up. Narvaez set away.
Kind of an off-centered cutter, a true cut fastball.
One and two, and he got him. Lauer picks up strikeout number 2. Some explosiveness on that four-seam fastball, nearly 95 up in the zone.
This is kind of Lauer in a nutshell. What he's done over the last few years, you grip a four-seam, and you can see the axis of the spin at 95 miles an hour. It is right on by Realmuto. Right off of that high cutter as well.
Yeah. Lauer, go ahead.
If you're Paco Figueroa at first base coach, you better let Nick Castellanos know that Lauer, and remind him that he has a really good move. Loves to use his A move, especially with 1 out.
There it is. Good call, Eddie. He dove back quick. And that move that you've talked about, Lauer has been working on since high school. He talks about that 45-degree line and how he crushes it. Meaning, and he's had 2 balks called in his career, only 2 for somebody that's got a terrific pickoff move like Lauer does.
And Castellanos is aware of it.
He almost got caught there.
And he was really close to the bag.
Comes to the plate, takes something off at a curveball to start Kyle Schwarber, who is doing what Kyle Schwarber is supposed to do, hit the ball over the wall. 4 homers already this season, and yet just a .164 batting average. He's 9 for 55. If you want to hit one and have it go really far, you try to do it in Colorado. He did. 468 feet. I mean, you get souvenirs in Colorado. You don't get a lot of them up there, but that one was 468. Byron Buxton today Walked one off with about a 470-foot home run for the Twins. It's weird. The ball's not jumping, and yet, Colorado aside, 470 feet is a long home run.
Wow, that's a supreme talent, too. I mean, Buxton is taking it to a different level.
One down, Schwarber with Castellanos at first. 2-1 pitch. Good one on the corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lauer's an interesting dude, too. So in 2020, he hurt his shoulder. He missed most of the year. Had like a 13 ERA. And then he and his pitching coach, Chris Hook, not on the same page in speaking a language. As Schwarber rolls one, they'll go to short for one. That's all they're going to get. Tough play for Hira, so they get the lead runner. But he and Hook started to talk about, you know, all the new terms that are out there, as you like to use, spin rate and tunneling, etc. They found it hard for Lauer to kind of lock in on those words. So they started naming pitches. Bullet pitch. He doesn't call his slider a slider because he thought the slider implied like that's slow, negative imagery. So he uses bowling ball. And somehow he and Hook got on the same page.
It's a great story, and they came up in the minor leagues a little bit together, too. As you mentioned, Chris Hook was in Biloxi, the Double-A franchise for these Brewers, where all these pitchers came through as well. So you develop that kind of relationship.
Alec Bohm swings and misses. But that is such a unique thing, especially when you think about the current modern-day young pitching coach. I can't just speak a language that you don't, David Cohen, understand. I got to get him to feel what I'm saying.
Yeah, the interpretation is everything nowadays between the analytics department and the coaching staff to the players.
Bohm late on that one, and again, living up in the zone.
You know, also, Carl, identifying who can handle information. Some players don't want it. Hey, I want to go off a feel. I want to just simplify my approach. So identifying those players is really one of the keys, and then interpreting the different language and terminology.
He calls his four-seamer the zoom ball. That was a zoom ball right there, a four-seam fastball, as he was once quoted as saying, try to let that blank zoom.
I like it. All I want to do is a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom.
You didn't go there, did you? I love it. And we're only in, what, the second inning?
Called strike 3, Angel Hernandez. And Alec Bohm is not the first to look curiously back at the home plate umpire. We ended the last half with a strike that wasn't exactly in the zone. We may have just done it again.
Okay, so every out.
Back here in Philadelphia, Brewers manager Craig Counsell, we've talked about Lauer's increase in velocity. How has that changed him as a pitcher in your eyes?
I think anytime a guy has more velocity, it just gives him more room for error. So you don't have to be quite as fine with your location, and that allows you to just go on the attack a little bit more, and I think that's what Eric's done a good job with.
What do you guys need to do tonight against Aaron Nola?
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than anybody else. You just got to get pitches to hit, and when you get a pitch to hit, we got to do some damage with it, and we've had a couple decent pitches to hit. So far, no damage.
Craig, thanks. Back to you.
All right, Buster, thank you. Nola back on the bump, having not allowed a hit here in the first pitch to Keston Hira. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
He's a pretty good manager, huh?
I think amongst the best, right, in baseball. His relatability.
I mean, they've made the playoffs 4 straight years, and before he got here, the franchise history, it was 4 years.
Good one there, changeup, and Nola is using that a little more often tonight, and it's working.
Well, I asked Rowdy Tellez the same thing. You know, what makes him such a good manager? And he had told me, he goes, he relates.
Exactly.
He understands how difficult it still is to be in that batter's box and how difficult it is to play defense.
So we go put away pitch here or a little nibble. No, he went right at him.
Could go for broadcasters too, right? Forget how hard it is to play this game up here too, right? How could he swing at that pitch?
That's why you keep your baseball card in handy just in case. It's very difficult. 3 changeups in a row right here. What do you think the scouting report is?
0-2. Nope, that's high. So that idea, Cody, like that's the pitch that you often see when a pitcher gets ahead 0-2. Take a look at it. Pitchers count 48%. That's first. 69% is ninth. Put away 19. So those are his rates this season. There you go. Another strikeout. That is 3 in a row for Aaron Nola.
Well, the four-seamer is for show on the previous pitch. So you're asking, what's he going to do differently? How to set up and protect that curveball and make it more effective? It was the previous pitch. The high fastball. And then you look at the break. I mean, the RPMs, the revolutions per minute. And then the drop is 3 inches less than average, but the horizontal movement is the key. It's a two-plane break. It has downward tilt and side-to-side movement like we just saw. That's what makes it a swing and miss pitch.
Brings up Jace Peterson. Phillies shift again on the infield. And the knuckle curve is effective as well. A lot of strikes for Aaron Nola to start this game. Gets ahead of the 8-hitter, the third baseman, Peterson. He is a guy who will generally not go out of the zone. 90th percentile when it comes to chase rate. He holds up on that one.
So far in this game, he's thrown 6 knuckle curves, 4 of them for strikes. And we said early on, if he's able to throw that for a strike, just like Lauer did, it makes it so much more difficult as a hitter, because you have to respect it, and then you'll start chasing it out of the zone later on in the game.
Ball's outside.
No swing and no strike call. Change up at 86. 2 balls and a strike. And Girardi was quick to point out, the second time through for a lot of his pitchers was a real down performance. And for many of them, you think about it, for everybody, you're kind of like week 1 of the regular season, and we're, a couple of weeks in relative to a shortened spring training. He said, Joe did about Nola, no real pitch limit. He's good for about 100 pitches if he's pitching well. We've seen guys taken out 60, 70.
It's been a nightmare across the board for all pitching coaches and managers, trying to get through these first couple of weeks in their rotation circuit.
How about the infield here? They're playing straight up right now with 2 strikes. They were dead pull.
Yep.
With a complete shift.
Peterson pops it up. Going back is Camargo. Coming in is Schwarber. Still drifting back the shortstop, but he reaches out. And Camargo makes the play. So these are always interesting. You go on to the different websites and you can see your traditional ERA average, and that's earned run average, 552. Then you throw something like expected earned run average, which takes into account quality of contact and strikeouts and walks allowed. So it's a 552 ERA, not great, but the expected ERA is 343, which implies it's going to turn in his favor.
Yeah, and it also implies 1 bad start early in the early going here.
Strike 1 to Tyrone Taylor. Now, you go into arbitration, can you bring your expected numbers with you?
Absolutely. Why not? The organizations are going to do it. You actually better. That's really representing.
That ball to left center field. Going over is Vierling. Still going over, looking up, and it is high off the wall. Hit that front fence along the wall, and in with a double Tyrone Taylor. Smacked that at 102 miles an hour, and it traveled 391 feet, but it didn't get over the wall.
Well, he got that first pitch sinker for a strike, and then this hanger. Tyrone Taylor sat on it, he recognized it, put that foot down, and just barreled it. Hands go up, bat stays through the zone and clears it. It's close enough right there, a couple feet, and he has 3 left turns.
Would have been his first home run of the year. Here's McCutchen, who's also looking for his first home run of the year. Good pitch. It locked him up. Strike 1. McCutchen is also just 1 stolen base shy of 200 for his career. The only other guy currently playing with 200 homers and 200 steals is Mike Trout. jam there. And boy, did that sinker move in on Andrew McCutchen's fists.
I still believe that's his natural look for a fastball from Nola. From his arm angle, his release point. When he first came up, he had a natural two-seamer, and he's kind of forced the four-seamer into play over the last few years.
6 RBIs early this season for McCutchen. Good pitch, strike 3. Feels like every half inning is ending with a called third strike. And the veteran McCutchen dropping equipment and looking back at the home plate umpire like, really? And Andrew McCutchen isn't moving very far. He's still looking at Angel Hernandez. We'll be back. Welcome back. So we've had a variety. Now 3 of them where innings have ended on called strike 3s, including the last one to Andrew McCutchen, which is just way off the plate. You can see the reaction on the infield. And then the reaction from Andrew McCutchen as he slow walked off. And then as he went to his dugout to get his glove, he kind of implied, like, the only way I could have hit that was if I were to jump out of the batter's box and took a swing at it. We'll keep an eye on the strike zone. Bryce Harper joins us now.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Bryce? How you doing?
Just watching a great game.
Yeah, how you dealing with the DH thing? And I'm sure you're grateful there is a DH in this league, but how you dealing with this?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows I like to play and be part of the game, and I love playing right field and trying to be the best I can out there, interacting with the fans and everything like that. So this is definitely different, but trying to stay locked in as much as I can, watching the game, and being a good teammate as much as I can as a DH as well.
All right, so we got up against a time crunch earlier. We were talking about Thursday as your 10-year anniversary. How has the first 10 years gone relative to what you even thought it would be like?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I started my career and with the Nationals and had some great years there with some great teammates and learned a lot of stuff about the big leagues and how to be a big league ball player, and had some great veterans with me and Jason Worth and Ian Desmond, Mark DeRosa. I played with an assortment of guys and had a lot of fun there. And then coming to Philadelphia, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be in this city and with this team. What a great organization the Phillies are, and I'm so happy, and my family's so happy to be in this great city.
Yeah, that's one of the major changes from when you were a 19-year-old kid to a 29-year-old man. Now you have 2 kids of your own. Like, you have your own family.
I do. I'm very lucky, very fortunate to have 2 kids that I love so much, and I love being a dad and being able to interact with them. And they're getting to that age. Crew's almost 3 now, and Brooklyn, she's 15, 16 months now. So just being able to interact with them. I got a great wife at home that takes care of them when I'm away, and I'm just so thankful to have such a great family that supports me each and every day. So.
You hear from a lot of guys too, when there is a child involved, you feel like you're now kind of doing things for them. You're playing for them. What if anything, for you has changed about your approach to the game?
I mean, I really just try to, be that same guy every day coming in and just trying to play the game and, play it hard, play it right. Of course, you have a little bit more to play for, right? I mean, you play for the guys around you, you play for your teammates, you play for the city that you play for, the fan base, things like that. And then, of course, you play, for your family and your kids. And, they sacrifice so much. We all sacrifice. You guys sacrifice as well with what you guys do and being in the media, being away from your families. You guys understand what it's like. And I mean, it's not always fun to be away from your family. You start missing them, and you go on a 10-day, and you're missing your family, you're missing your kids, your wife, and just very, very fortunate to play the game that I do, but also understanding there's a lot of things outside of the game that I love to do as well.
Right. Inside this game, one of the stories has been the strikes that we've seen called tonight. You had one called against you. So on a night like this, when it appears as if the strike zone is going to be fairly large. Do you change your approach? Do you guys talk about it on the bench? What's going on in the dugout?
I think you can just try to control the controllables, right? You know, not really worrying about the bat or, you know, the strike zone or anything like that, trying to get the pitch that you can handle the best you can and put a good swing on it. You know, I think, you know, like I said, you can't really worry about that. You can't miss the pitches that are in the zone. I missed that first pitch in the zone, and, you know, that's a pitch I can't miss. So I think you start just thinking about that, not really, you know, thinking about the strike zone or anything like that, just trying to stay within yourself and do what you can. So.
Bryce, as you're getting ready right now to get on deck, potentially up third here.
Wow.
As an analyst, how do I break you down? Because sometimes you have the high leg kick, sometimes you go with the tap. How do you decide?
It's just feel. I mean, really, I just see what I feel like, see what I, you know, want to do, or, I mean, I don't really think about it. I kind of just mid-pitch, if I feel like doing, you know, toe tap, then I'll do that, or, you know, I feel like leg kick, and then I'll do that. So, I mean, it just really depends on how I feel, or, you know, there's times where I'll switch during the at-bat, there's times where I won't switch for a couple days. So, I mean, it just really depends on, you know, what I'm feeling, I guess.
0-1 to Segura, and that's slapped into right field. That's going to get down for a hit. And the Phillies have their second hit of the night. Gene Segura is aboard.
Yeah, I'm going to let you guys go for a second, and I'll be back on if I don't get up, all right?
Very good. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
You know, to your point, too, Eddie, he has similar success with the high leg kick and the toe tap. It's not as if, like, you look at the numbers and you'd be like, why don't you do that all the time?
I know the numbers are eerily similar. And the thing with him is, as he said, it's all about feel. You see him on the left, where with the leg kick, 73 hits, with the toe tap, 74. Power, very much similar. To me, the key to all of this is the upper body still stays the same. The hands are still quiet. As soon as that foot hits the ground, that's when the violence begins. Again, Segura cannot fall asleep at first base. Paco Figueroa, the first base coach, letting him know again that Segura, with 2 strikes, he'll be aggressive with Rhys Hoskins at the plate.
Hoskins has the entire right side of the infield to hit a ball through. They have a shift on, and obviously holding Segura on at first. I think it's important, Eduardo. This is where so many people who were watching at home thinking, well, why can't he just hit it between first base and second base? There's nobody over there that you just don't flip a switch and be able to do that right away.
They're trained to do one thing right now, and it's all about bat path, and to alter that is a little bit different. I think the only player I think in this lineup that can do that and hit the ball on the ground with authority is probably Nick Castellanos, because he hunts for the pitch up. He can make adjustments because he's more handsy. Hoskins, Harper, they're more about letting the ball travel a little bit, get behind it, and lift and elevate that baseball.
Well, you would think, Carl, that if I'm on the mound pitching, I'm going to stay inside, right? Throw my cutters in, sliders back leg here.
Struggles with runners on, 0 for his last 16. Next one down, and he swings and misses. Lauer ends up striking out 3 in the inning. He's got 6 in the game. We'll continue our conversation with Harper as we get set for Yelich when we come back.
I hear a lot of people talk about feel at the plate. You use that term a lot as well. What is the definition of feel for a hitter for you?
I mean, I kind of just always grew up learning how to hit just based on, like, I didn't have any hitting coaches or anything growing up. Like, nobody in my family played baseball before I did. So it was just play with your buddies and know what it felt like when it felt good and what it felt like when it didn't feel good, and just kind of adjust from there.
With you and timing, you've had a high hard hit rate. A lot of stuff hard hit, also on the ground. What's one way that you're trying to adjust to get back to, let's say, the Christian Yelich that we saw on a given night 2019?
Just play the game, man. Just try and do the best you can, prepare the best you can, and whatever happens, happens, man. And everybody always wants to do well. Everybody wants to have success in this game. It's a hard game, and it doesn't always work that way. So as a hitter, you want to hit something hard, and then after that, live with whatever happens, you know.
How many cheesecakes have you had since you've been here in Philly?
Just one a day. You know?
Just one a day?
Yeah, just one for lunch most days. Some guys go over the top.
Favorite part of that entire interview is you meant to say cheesesteaks and you said cheesecakes.
We had a good cheesecake, though, last night, did we not?
So subliminally it was on your mind?
Yeah.
Gotcha. He's got 2 strikes. Yelich flew out to center his first time up. And the 40th pitch from Nola, swing and a miss, strike 3. We got 11 strikeouts so far in the game. 6 by the Phillies, 5 by the Brewers.
Front door two-seamer. He talked about that to you, Eduardo, about not getting locked up on that. So he didn't get locked up, but he swung through it.
Bryce, you back?
Yes, sir.
Good to have you back. So this is interesting. You got 2 former MVPs, you of course twice, as DHs tonight in this game, which you don't see. And the part about Yelich's interview I found interesting. I'd love your perspective, given you've done this for 10 years. There's almost a resignation that, you know, you not lower expectations, but come to live with some of the outcomes here. These guys on the mound are really good. I mean, everybody wants you to get a hit every time up. You do. But the reality is that doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just go out there and try to play your best baseball, right? I mean, really just trying to succeed at what you do and hit the ball hard, have good at-bats, but you want success. You don't want to just go up there and be okay with, you know, a guy punching you out, or, you know, you still have to have that fire, that passion to go out there and, you know, play the game the right way, play it hard, and give it your all any given night. And, you know, I think there's a lot of good pitching in this league now, of course, but also there's a lot of good hitting as well. And
sky high, called off by the right fielder Castellanos, usually Harper.
You know, but I think going out there trying to give it your best effort, your best at bat each time you're up there, and sometimes you're going to have a good game, sometimes you don't. But also, you know, you want to have the best success you can each night you go out there and play.
So you're a smart guy. You make a living doing this. What is your thought on where baseball is now with the home runs and the strikeouts, etc.? Like, what does Bryce Harper, the player, think about the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of good players in this league right now. I think that if you just watch the game, you're going to see a lot of good players. I mean, if that's, of course, starting with the top at Mike Trout, you know, Juan Soto, Mookie Betts, Ronald Acuna. I mean, if you just watch the game, you're going to see so much excitement, so much flair and passion in this game. And, you know, I think, you know, some people just don't watch the game. You know, they come to entertain, right? And I get that. Like, you want the entertainment, you want the fun, you want the, you know, the excitement each night. But sometimes the excitement's the pitcher, right? I mean, sometimes you go out there, you see Jacob deGrom do what he does, or Max Scherzer do what he does. And that it's an incredible thing to see. I mean, if you really look back and you sit back and you see the game of baseball, sometimes the pitcher's going to have success and sometimes the hitter's going to have success. And I think that's where the game is right now. There's so much talent out there. There's so much talent on both sides of the ball. And I think that's why you are seeing, you know, the homers and the punchies and, you know, some guys hitting 240 with 35. I mean, it's part of the game right now. And I mean, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon with that. I think it's going to stay the same for a while because I think guys are going to keep getting better and hitting the ball farther and hitting the ball harder and guys throwing harder. It's just how the game is right now.
So all the I wouldn't say all, most of the technology currently with the pitching labs kind of shifts the power structure to the arms.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some things that go with that, right? I mean, you don't want to see guys lose control of, you know, kind of what they do, but as of right now, guys are just throwing as hard as they can at all levels. And then you get to the big leagues, and there's a lot of guys now that have been successful throwing really hard and know where it's going. I think the scary part is the college guys, JUCO guys, high school guys,
106,
you know, throwing 100 miles an hour and have no idea where it's going. I think that's the scary part for guys like that. But, you know, at the big league level, I think guys have a certain amount of, you know, control in their arsenal with all the pitches that they throw.
Right. 2 strikes, 2 down. You're leading off for the Phillies. Let's see where this pitch goes. He held up. When do you start thinking about this next at bat? Or are you just doing us a great favor by talking right now?
I mean, right when I get out there, when I walk up the steps.
You know, you and Mike Trout are often compared. You came up at the same time. I asked our crew, like, how aware were you of Trout when you were about 14, 13, 14, 15?
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean,
you weren't,
I
right?
had no idea. Yeah. What an incredible talent, though. I mean, it's very fun to watch. I mean, all those guys. That's what I mean, and I totally forgot about Ohtani. That's my fault. I mean, he's probably number one on that list right now because both sides of the ball, right? So, I mean, you see it from him, from both sides of the ball. I mean, you see him throwing 98 and hitting balls 450 feet. And
at this level, not in high school, not in Little League, at this level.
Exactly. That's why it's so impressive, and that's why he's such a special player and a superstar player for this game.
Right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Next one, Tellez, gone.
Right. I'll see you guys next inning.
All right. See you next inning. Another strikeout, 7 in the game. Welcome back to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Our telecast presented by Taco Bell.
Back here in Philadelphia, Phillies manager Joe Girardi. We just got done talking with Bryce Harper. What's important in managing Bryce?
Just making sure that he feels good every day, because he plays so hard, and you know he's going to give you everything he's got. So every once in a while, trying to give him a day off when you can. But, God, we love to have him in the lineup every day.
As a former catcher, what do you think of the pitching tonight?
Oh, it's been fantastic on both sides. I mean, Nola's been really good. He's used his curveball and changeup effectively with locating his fastball. The Brewers, I mean, their starting rotation is very good as well, and Lauer's done a really good job. I mean, his fastball and his cutter seem to get on our guys, so we got to act like it's probably like 96 instead of 93.
Joe, thanks.
Thanks, Buster.
Back to you.
Not Buster, and Harper up, 1 ball, 1 strike. First pitch called strike, second pitch outside. The next one from Lauer, who begins the inning with 6 punch-outs. Bottom of the zone, that's in there for a strike. Again, the K zone in the corner shows it was off. Bryce Harper has as good an eye as anybody in baseball. There are times where he would run down and check the iPad to see was it a strike or not. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Harper retired on strikes. 7 punch-outs for Lauer.
Tell you what, he has all his pitches working for him, and then with the expanded strike zone, hitters now tend to open up and have to chase a little bit borderline. Now, as a hitter, you're thinking, how do I protect? Elevates that fastball, pitch that he uses well. You talked about, David, about the clicks that he's gone up with velocity. He's putting it to work right there.
95 miles an hour. Top of the zone.
Strike 1 and Nick Castellanos. He's got the hit tonight. That came in the 2nd inning. So Nick Castellanos and J.D. Martinez, how different, Eduardo?
Not much different.
That's who I see when I see Castellanos.
That's a great comp. They both played with the Tigers together. Nick coming up when J.D. was just changing his swing coming from the Houston Astros. And I think Nick actually was fortunate to be around the same type of body style.
Very much a modern swing, right? More thinking about planes, swinging on plane. It's almost like the golf terminology has crept its way into baseball, especially on the hitting side, about trying to match planes. Lag, stored energy. It's almost like Hank Haney's a hitting coach nowadays, Carl.
Yes.
I mean, some of the same sayings you're hearing now from the modern swing, so to speak, that you see from Castellanos and J.D. Martinez.
And that take right there says a lot as well. You saw Castellanos there just recognize the curveball, followed it with his legs. His eyes stayed on it, but his legs continued to just stay on that ball.
Next one to Nick. Nick Castellanos, a strikeout victim. Lauer is rolling. He's got 8 punch-outs now, 11 swings and misses. Next Sunday, we will be in New York. Phillies and the Mets finishing up their 3-game set, Citi Field. What a start for the Mets. They got a victory today over Arizona, 6-2. We'll also have Michael Kay and A-Rod with their K-Rod presentation on ESPN2. It's available on ESPN Deportes and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app with baseball tonight's Sunday night countdown. Realmuto will not strike out, but he will send it high and into the glove of Hira. And Eric Lauer is rolling along. Boys and girls, we're heading to the 5th inning.
Because when he showed the bunt, I took an extra shuffle, and I guess I felt comfortable, then I did it again. But he saw me, and then he was ready to throw. I thought I was way gone. The ball doesn't fly here, man. They say during summertime, but right now.
That's Willie Adames, who's also wearing a microphone and now dumping seeds on the head of a teammate, so he's engaged, having fun. You were a prankster, right? You had a good time when you weren't pitching. Come on.
You had to. I mean, you spend a lot of time together every day. You heard Bryce Harper talk about it, being on the road and away from your family, and you need those kind of guys in the clubhouse.
As I would always say, as soon as the season ended was the time that I could pick my own friends. In the meantime, for 7 months, including spring training, this was your family.
Hunter Renfroe will start the 5th inning. So far, we've got 24 outs, 14 strikeouts, and a Realmuto pickoff. There's a whole discussion about the ball flying, park factors, humidors. Every ballpark has one of those now. Live in a humid environment, it affects the baseball. You live in a dry environment, they'll add humidity. Trying to equalize all the ballpark, kind of eliminate the factors that have been such a vital part of the way the balls fly. It used to be like Colorado, and then it was a handful of stadiums. Now everyone's got a humidor. Streaming service. Everybody's got a streaming service. Everybody in baseball got a humidor. Next one to Renfroe. That's a little high. So if you're thinking about getting your own humidor, this is what they look like. They come full of baseballs.
Look at all those pearls.
Renfroe, we got a play here. Alec Boehm got him. Philly fans hold their breath a little bit when the ball's hit to third, but Boehm's been a lot better since he's been inserted back into third base. So take a look at the way the park is played. 6% better than average, 6th best in baseball as far as runs go, and home runs 15% better than average, 6th best in baseball. I would agree with Renfroe. Middle of the summer, his ball's over, which is what Adames said as we look at StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Bryce, you have the earpiece back in?
Yep.
I think it's working right now.
Hello, you got me?
Oh, now I see him put it back in. All right, so Bryce, Adames on the Renfroe ball said, boy, I thought that was gone. This is a pretty favorable park in the summer, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are some of the reasons guys like to come in here and play. I think the thing about the humidor, I don't like that as much just because I think every park should play different. I think that's what makes the game so special is when you go into Coors Field, you're going to hit homers, and sometimes when you go somewhere else, you're not. So I think that's one thing about the game that I don't really like as much, just because every park should play different. That's why every park's not the same. Every park's not the same. 409, 387, 375, or 334. Every park is different.
Yep.
Yankee Stadium has a short porch. Fenway Park has the monster. So I think those are the cool things about different parks. You know that when you go into Chicago, it's going to be shorter in the gaps, and they got the basket. So each field is different. So I think they should all play different. So.
I just love when Bryce went wow, because we just showed the 3D K zone on that, and it actually hit the zone. And from the dugout perspective, you don't have a camera, you don't have a screen or monitor, and you could tell from there that it was a strike or close to it. That's impressive.
I think it's JT how good he is back there. He makes everything look so good.
2-2 that side. Well, let's stick with that. So how about where were you on pitch clocks and robo-umps?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to change the game that much. I think pitch clocks are tough because you don't want guys to rush through their at-bats or rush through their pitching. I think guys kind of get hurt that way of rushing through stuff. Baseball is kind of, you take your time with things. That's just just like that right there, right? And you take your time to make a good toss and he gets over there. I mean, when you come to a baseball game, you know it's going to be a long game, especially now that the DH is gone or the DH is in the National League. Games are going to be longer. Offenses are usually better and, are getting better. And, I think that's the game that we play. I mean, robo-umps, I think that's a question for somebody else. I don't really want to answer that one. So.
But it wasn't a clown question, was it?
I like the human element to the game as well, So yeah. I think that's part of it. I mean, I think the in and out of pitching and things or pitches and things like that, it could help for sure. Or, it's a little bit better, but you hear from the minor league guys, they haven't really perfected it yet. I think it's going to take some time to kind of perfect that and get that going the right way.
Yeah. I remember when we were talking with you in Washington, you on the 0-1 fell in love with the city. Like you're all in wherever you play, and you're the same way in Philadelphia. This isn't about the two cities, but it is about your ability to really immerse yourself in a community. What has your reaction been to the reception, to the Philadelphia fan base?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one thing that I kind of started with is, they opened their arms to my family and myself, and, I was very appreciative of that. I think my teammates did that as well, and it made me feel at home. Everybody knows Philadelphia is a tough town, and I love these fans. They let you know on a good day when you're doing well, and they let you know on the night when you're doing bad. I mean, that's how the game works. But if you play hard and you play the game the right way for them, they love you. And I'm so thankful to be here and so thankful to be a Philly, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
We got you for one more half inning.
Cool.
Thanks, brother. 0-0 back. Bottom 5 coming up. Bottom 5, first pitch. Kyle Schwarber outside. Ball 1. At a strikeout festival, like so many Major League Baseball games are. Really good pitching tonight from both Aaron Nola and this guy, Eric Lauer, who continues to impress. Misses there. 2 balls, no strikes. Schwarber, game 1 here in Philadelphia, does some yard work, and that ball is raced into right field. Going over and watching it smack off the bottom of the wall. Schwarber, he's going to second. Here's the throw. It's high. And Kyle Schwarber with a double to lead off the bottom of the 5th for the Phillies.
Tell you what, the swing was pretty. The dive at second, we might have to replay that one. Again, beautifully done by Kyle Schwarber, who historically in this ballpark has struggled. 7 home runs, but over 100 at-bats. That right there is his 14th career hit at Citizens One Ballpark. Gets it out front and tests the arm of Hunter Renfroe, who has a very good and accurate arm. This time it sails on him. And check out the slide. Ooh.
Let me leave a mark here. Chance for Alec Bohm, who's been very good early this season with runners in scoring position. 4 sacrifice flies to bring a run in, and that pitch nearly got by Omar Narvaez.
This is what Philly fans love. A little hustle and finesse.
Yeah. Former linebacker in high school, had some Big Ten opportunities to go play college football, and still was a catcher at Indiana University. Speed dropped in there for a strike. Bohm had the big hit in the series opener. Went to right field, single play to the couple. And offensively, he's been outstanding.
He can handle the bat, understands how to hit the ball the other way as well on the ground.
That's high.
Can handle this Philly crowd, too.
Oh, yeah.
I think he handled that very well, even though he's caught on tape, sort of saying, I hate this place after making 3 errors, and then owning it afterwards, and then getting a standing ovation for the way he handled that controversy. Not an easy town to play in. Great sports town.
Yeah, Coney, and after he did that, I mean, it was caught. You could read lips, and it wasn't that hard. A bunch of players were around his locker after, kind of encouraging him. Joe Girardi joined the conversation. His advice was, be honest, be real, own it.
Love it. And he did.
And he did. And it seems to certainly got the crowd back in his corner, as that one is high and inside. Bryce, you back with us?
Yep.
So were you part of that conversation? You remember that experience for Bohm?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about Boehmer, he needs to be himself, right?
Yep.
I mean, he just needs to go out there and play his game. I feel like when young guys come up, I mean, you just got to let them be themselves and kind of learn the ins and outs of the game, and that includes off the field, on the field, fan bases, everything. So, I mean, I think just letting guys be themselves and get acclimated and really understand kind of who they are as big league ball players. And Boehmer's always been a great hitter. He's always been a great player, and I think he's going to be that way in due time. And I mean, he's a very good player, so I'm excited to see what he does in the next couple of years.
Pitching coach Chris Hook out to the mound to talk to Lauer, who's been so efficient tonight, 63 pitches. But now first and second, nobody out for Johan Camargo. How's your role changed in a clubhouse from when you first started 10 years ago to now? Different at all?
I think everybody kind of grows, right? I mean, everybody kind of understands their roles, and I think that's every player that we have. I mean, we have a lot of guys on this team with a lot of years in the big leagues, and we were able to bring in guys like Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos, and we got a great leader in JT, and a lot of guys on this team. So I mean, we all communicate, we all understand how the game works, and we try to communicate the best we can within each other and understanding each other, and understand some days guys got it, some days guys don't, and it's just it's part of the game, it's part of how it kind of works.
Might see an inside move here just to see if Johan Camargo, who had a conversation with Dusty Wasm, the third base coach, if he's going to bunt or not. Does not show.
Oh, yo, he can hit a double.
Yeah, you want to just kind of pick it up from here, Bryce? I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I don't.
I'd love to know what you think without any of us in your ear as you're watching this.
I don't want to do that. I leave that to you guys.
1-0 to Camargo.
How about yo?
Two balls, no strikes. First big chance for the Phillies here in the bottom of the fifth. And for the first time, Lauer not throwing the strikes that he has all night. That one's a strike, and he swings and misses at it.
Swing it.
What's the challenge against Lauer tonight? What is he doing?
He's always pretty good, man. He's always got that. He's got that cutter working, and he's always got a pretty good ride on his heater. He kind of slow walks you a little bit, and then plays that heater up. So he's always pretty good, man. He's always a pretty good matchup for anybody that's kind of facing him. He's kind of done a great job in Milwaukee, man. He kind of got a lot better when he went over there, and it's he's pretty good out there.
Yeah. Staff with Burns, Woodruff, and Peralta. Lauer's been great. Here's the next one. That one is into the seats.
Oh, yo.
Now he has to be careful with that curveball that Lauer's been able to throw and get guys to chase down in the zone. He sped up his bat there.
2-2 with Schwarber at second. Here it comes. And he fouls it off.
Oh, boy.
Spoil. If you're at the plate, I know you're a lefty and Camargo's batting from the right side. What do you think Lauer's going to do here? Like, what is your approach?
He'd probably throw the heater again and blow it by me like he did in my second at bat. Nah, I mean, I just, try to get something to get those runners over. I mean, let Castellanos kind of do his thing, Yep. So try to get a job done right here and understand the situation, getting that job done. And, I mean, not much hitting tonight, so 1-0, 2-0 ball game could happen. So.
And given the bullpen arms, that you both have, but certainly with Williams and Hader on the other side, you like to get the lead and not have them get up by a run or two late.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why the Brewers have been so successful in the last couple of years is their starting pitching, of course, and timely hitting, but that bullpen has been pretty lights out, especially with Hader. I mean, he's a special one. I mean, he's every night, too. I mean, he posts every night, and it's very impressive to see what he's done in the last couple of years. I mean, that's why he's one of the best in baseball, because they call down there, he throws, and it's very impressive to see.
Now 4 straight foul balls from Camargo. Schwarber at second, Bohm is at first. 0-0 in the 5th inning.
Come on, yo-yo. Oh boy! Oh boy!
Hey Bryce, I'm curious. Devin Williams, when he got to the Milwaukee Brewers and Colton Wong was already there. He is from St. Louis. He told him, he goes, really big fan of yours. When I was in high school, I used to watch you play for the Cardinals. And Colton Wong said, don't ever say that again. Have you had a teammate come up to you and tell you this after having been in the league already for 10 years?
Not much. I mean, that's funny. I mean, I think the big thing is just trying to be like everybody else, right? I mean, just trying to be another guy in the clubhouse and try to be the best teammate I can and best person I can to everybody on my team, and try to have success with everybody on our team and look out for each other and have each other's backs, and no matter where you're from, who you are, what you've done, just understand that it's all about the name on the front and the Philadelphia Phillies, and understanding that as a team and as a whole, and pulling together no matter, like I said, who you are, where you're from, what you've done, or anything like that.
Here's Matt Vierling now. He's in the lineup to face the lefty playing center field. Odubel Herrera back with the Phillies as well. And the first pitch in there for a strike.
Ovi.
That last pitch that Camargo, Coney, swung at and missed was outside.
Yes.
Does the strike zone dictate that's where I'm pitching it?
I think you have to. If I'm on the mound, I'm trying to expose that part of the strike zone, because it has been called off the plate tonight several times.
Oh boy.
Especially with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, you get a little margin off of the edges earlier in the count. And with 2 strikes, you better be on the plate. It's kind of been the opposite of that tonight. So I don't know how Bryce feels about that, but do you have to change your approach if the strike zone gets a little wider, especially with 2 strikes?
I don't want to change my approach at all. I mean, if it's a bad pitch, I don't want to swing at it anyways. You know what I'm saying? What am I going to do with it? Like I said, I missed that first pitch in the first at bat, and then, got into battle mode at the 1-2, and he threw a heater over the plate and got me. So I don't want to change my plan or my approach dictating on, pitches called or anything like that. I want to stay with my approach and understand what I can control, and I can't control the inside outside part of the plate. And I know I try to know the best I can what pitches are strikes and what pitches are balls, and I can't really dictate that.
Ahead 1-2. His 9 strikeouts have tied a career high. Then Lauer.
Oh. Hey, Bryce, now that you've DH'd for a few games already, and you will continue for a few more, put it in perspective how difficult or how easy did Edgar Martinez and Big Papi make it look?
Yeah, what can you say more? I mean, they're 2 special players. I mean that.
Yeah, baby! Into center field, Schwarber He's being held up, and here's the throw in from Taylor. The bases are loaded.
Hey, guys, I'm going to go for this a better, right?
Go ahead. Dusty Wathan holds up Schwarber, and the bases are loaded as we go back to the top for Gene Segura.
About this right here. Fastball just gets too much of the plate. Glove side. It's supposed to be away. You see where Narvaez was. Nice piece of hitting by Vierling, protecting, letting it go deep. And then Dusty Wathan holds him. Kyle Schwarber at third base, and it's the right call. Gets a good jump, yet there are no 2 outs. It's just 1 out. You still have an opportunity with Gene Segura coming up to the plate. He would have been dead to rights at home.
Yeah, Taylor's got a good arm, and he had a good throw off.
Taylor, great arm in center. Renfroe, really good arm in right. Now Gene Segura, the base is loaded. Called strike one. Segura looks back at Angel, now has a few words with the home plate umpire.
Yeah, that conversation's held in Spanish, and El Mambo de Segura, that's his Instagram right there. That pitch is way inside. And, you know, Angel there, he knows that. He knows he missed that one. But as a hitter, you can't help but to expand it. You can't when you see that.
The 0-1.
If you're Narvaez, why not, right, Coney?
As a pitcher, you definitely have to go there and try to get whatever margins you can.
Segura, high fly in foul territory, going over. Peterson makes the play, and no advancement from Schwarber. Had no chance, and a fly out into foul territory. We'll leave it up to Rhys Hoskins with 2 down.
Yep. Zone. But Gene Segura now is looking in as a hitter, and what happens? You expand in. Pitch was up, in, 86 mile per hour cutter slider. He's upset at that first pitch still.
Yep. Now you can put together a pretty good reel of the reactions of the hitters after their at-bats, suggesting where the ball was called a strike and where it really was. Here's Hoskins now loaded with Schwarber at third, Bohm at second, Vierling at first. Called strike one, another dejected hitter.
This is the time where Joe Girardi is going to have to probably step in, because it's starting to get to the hitters. And as a manager, you have to at least protect them so they can mentally still grind out those at-bats.
0-1, see if he expands his zone now. That's high, 1-1. Infield shift is on. Hira to the shortstop side of second base. Bohm has really good speed at second base. Trying to break a scoreless tie. You can hear Lauer barking at himself, and Narvaez heard it too. Looks like Jake Cousins is up in the Brewer bullpen.
It's a good job by Narvaez right there, right?
Twice as many pitches as he's thrown in any other inning. A double, a walk, a strikeout, a single, and then a foul ball out off the bat of Segura. Hoskins' hard hit rate, barrel rate, real high this year. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And everything in and off the plate. And why not at this point? Off-centered four-seamer, the cutter, down and in.
What are you throwing here, Coney? You're a pitcher. What are we doing?
after seeing that last swing, I mean, he's gone up the ladder too as well, but there's not a lot of margin here with the bases loaded and a 2-2 count. You want to get it done on this pitch.
I love how Narvaez asked for time to give you time to explain that one.
You know, on a 3-2 count, obviously the runners are going, so any ball in the gap would score 3. So if you're on the mound here, you want to get it done here. I would say his cutter, and just like he threw the last pitch, and exposing the margin off the inside corner.
Lauer ready, 2-2. Swing and a miss, he got him. Slaps his glove, the Phillies leave him loaded. Hoskins struggles with runners in scoring position, continues.
Four-seamer shooting for the inside corner, gets a lot of plate. 95 miles an hour right on by.
And 10 strikeouts, a new career high for Lauer. Bring your friends to the one spot with all your favorite free MLB games. Play the hits with the Beat the Streak Quick Pick and more. Visit MLB.com/play and download MLB Play today. Well, Lauer gutted it out. He got his 10th strikeout. He left 3 Phillies on, and now it's Nola's turn to throw up another donut. And boy, if you are the Brewers, man, and you get any offense, and you have those horses coming out every night, wow.
You have a chance.
Every night. Yeah, 29, 30 pitches that inning. Nola on the other side hasn't thrown more than 15 in an inning.
Yeah, here in the 6th inning in great shape.
Peterson followed by Tyrone Taylor back to the top. 0-0, 0-2 on the way.
And this is the difference now with also the designated hitter in the National League, where Lauer doesn't have to worry about hitting. 9-hole coming up next. No activity in the bullpen. He'll stay out for another inning at 85 pitches.
Yeah. Peterson checks his swing. Talk about great athletes that are on this field. You mentioned Rio Muto. This is another guy. He was a tremendous cornerback, 2-sport start in McNeese State. And the Brewers were all asked to pick a teammate to survive. This is a little bit strange. On the 2-2, swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Aaron Nola, 8. The Brewers players were asked if again, play along with the Brewers. If you were to survive a zombie apocalypse, which teammate would you want? Jace Peterson's name up came more than any other. Yeah. And then Renfroe.
The zombie question.
It's like, where does that come from? Is that happening? Is that a thing?
There's a lot of zombie movies out there, that's for sure.
All right, here's Taylor. Gets the call. The outside corner does Nola. The K-zone has not been kind to Angel Hernandez tonight. That ball is shallow center. Coming hard is Fearling, and he's going to stop and make the play. End of the bat.
This is Roundup for Lawns. This stuff works. This stuff kills weeds down to the root without killing your lawn. This stuff works on dandelions, crabgrass, clover. This stuff works for up to 3 months. This stuff works guaranteed or your money back. This is Roundup for Lawns. This stuff works.
Well, Andrew McCutchen, it's been a while since we've seen him. He struck out his last time up. None too pleased with the call. Looks at strike one. He's been very aggressive, far more aggressive. He said last year he couldn't get his legs underneath him. He was spinning out of everything. What does that mean, Eddie?
Means he wasn't keeping the bat head in the zone long enough. It's one thing he wanted to do. That's one of the reasons why the defense is straight pull on him.
Well, it is a pulled ball to third. Boom. Got McCutchen, who was busting down the line, but another real clean inning for Aaron Nola. Harper's coming up when we come back, and we will get into the best things that we saw this week in baseball. Welcome back to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Telecast presented by Taco Bell. Yesterday, it was the best thing we all saw. Miguel Cabrera becomes the 33rd player to reach 3,000 career hits. It came with an intentional walk as he was in his pursuit from the Yankees and Aaron Boone. Gets a huge hug from a guy he played with for a long time in Detroit. How about that? Jose Iglesias was the first guy to embrace Miguel Cabrera, and that is 3,000 hits, the best thing we saw.
I thought that was so cool, though. You know, you get the 3,000 hits, you already have over 500 home runs, and then the first player, besides the coach, that goes and greets you is the opposing team's shortstop, even though they were teammates. Pitcher must have been, the other team's like, what are you doing? Your teammates, really? But I loved it.
He sprinted over there and got to him first.
I'm in first.
Should have pulled the hidden ball trick on him.
We'll talk more about that accomplishment in a moment. Here's Harper. That ball to right, driven but foul. And into the seats. He jumped on the first pitch he saw. And he hooked it foul, 77-mile-per-hour pitch. And only 89 off the bat. Slow and slow.
Pitch hung. Bryce was on it, just out in front a bit.
Fouls the next one off. Tony, you think this is the last batter, left on left, as Cousins continues to throw in that pen?
It makes sense. Cousins is ready.
Ahead of Harper, who has struck out twice. 0-2. That's way outside. 1-2.
One thing that he has yet to do all night, and that's Lauer, is throw any pitch in on Bryce Harper. Led all of baseball and OPS last year on pitches, especially the fastball in.
He's ready. Swing and a miss. Rough night for Harper at the plate. He's gone, and an outstanding night for Eric Lauer with strikeout number 11. We'll see if Counsell's going to come get him or not.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's hitter by hitter. Maybe to get to Schwarber, who should be in the hole.
It's a well-executed, hard-cut fastball there at 91 miles an hour.
Looks like Lauer, who's been great, 89 pitches, stays in the game. Oh, the Philly fanatic up here as Castellanos. Happy birthday there, big fella. Happy birthday. Yeah, you brought your own cake to the party. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I will eat some. Thank you very much. Oh.
I just want to let you know, 1983, my father played for the Philadelphia Phillies, the Whiz Kids, and I was excited, 13 years of age. All I cared about is the fanatic. I will be hanging out with the fanatic. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you back. We missed you. This is the first time in a couple years the fanatic is back with the big nose, the eyelashes. Yep. And I know I can see all of that. Castellanos just struck out. Maybe feed the cake to them.
There he goes.
Cake. Wait, is that a cake? That's an eat and run deal.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Can we get the cake back?
Oh, man.
Did we just tell you how nice it is to see you and all that?
Oh.
My belly.
It's good. It's warm pop. It's full of butter, too.
Sunday Night Baseball, Coney. Welcome.
That's it. Love it.
There's one into left. That's going to get down. And Real Muto, as fast a catcher as there is in the game, with two down, into second with a double. You like that? I know. The fanatic love that. Clapping up here.
I wonder if he could do play-by-play. Again, The cutter's been there all night inside, and JT Realmuto just stays inside and is able to keep it fair. Not a lot of guys are able to keep that one fair. He brings the hands in. Now he's in scoring position. It's Kyle Schwarber. Most likely this should be Lauer's last hitter one way or another.
Now remember, Schwarber already has a double in this game. No one really has hit the ball hard. Schwarber is one of those guys, and here he comes with Realmuto at second. Second inning in a row, the Phillies with runners in scoring position. Ball one.
What a mess you guys made here.
You should see Coney. I can't see the tops of Cone's feet because of all the popcorn. It's covered both of them.
I think everybody's got a Fanatic story, right, over the years?
Inside, Schwarber fouls it off at the plate.
I guess the Fanatic does not do play-by-play.
No, but you can read along with the Fanatic and his body language with what's going on. We got a Fanatic Sports Center commercial long time ago, starring our great friend Stuart Scott. Derek Jeter was in that spot.
I remember that one.
1 ball, 1 strike to Schwarber, trying to get the Phillies on the board and in the lead. Pitch called strike. He goes to a knee.
It's the ability to throw every pitch at any count for a strike, and then also as a chase pitch, and getting the corners is what's given Lauer through 97 pitches an advantage here against the Phillies.
12 strikeouts. 1 and 2 to Schwarber. Strike 3 call. Bat goes down. Helmet goes down with it. And Lauer completes 6 innings, 13 strikeouts, 98 pitches. Dominant. Fanatic is running warm right now after that. Stream out-of-market regular season games live or on demand, plus MLB Big Inning and select pregame and postgame coverage. Blackout other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Now there's a lot of zeros on the board tonight. Nothing across. We head to the 7th. Brewers have 1 hit. Phillies have had the better chances. Bases loaded. And last inning, stranding 1 at second. Nola continues to pitch and pitch effectively. Lauer was outstanding. 13 strikeouts in the game, a new career high. Tony, the goal get ahead. That's what Nola's done 16 times. A first pitch strike.
Well, now we know what Counsell was thinking, to save Lauer in case Schwarber got up that inning. That was definitely going to be his last batter.
And that's a vote of confidence also, with your pitcher that's really dominated the zone. And it's been Angel's zone. And both Narvaez and Lauer understood how wide it was, both east and west and north.
That knuckle curve has been an outstanding pitch for Nola tonight. He gets a hit on it, 1 and 2. Big swing and a miss. Yelich fouled off, dropped at the plate. So it was in and out of the glove of Realmuto.
By the way, those are the best. When you foul tip a ball and the catcher cannot catch it cleanly with 2 strikes. So in on that.
The former first-round pick of the Marlins in 2010. Yelich. That's high. It's a really good article by our friend Mike Petriello on MLB.com about maybe the 3rd act of Yelich's career. Get your thought on that. First, he was the doubles machine with the Marlins when he averaged 33 a year for 4 years. Then the MVP machine, who had over 80 home runs, 18 and 19. And is this the where's the buck for the bang? He's getting paid a lot, and he's hitting the ball harder than anybody. But The ball's not necessarily going over the wall to clip it once did. Is that the next iteration of Christian Yelich?
I believe it is. And again, talked with him earlier before the game, and it was all about timing and feel for him. And when I look at him and look at video and you see those numbers there, he's a little late. He's a little late with everything, with his actions. Before, when he faced Nola in 2019, that foot was almost down by the time Nola released the baseball. Now it's on the way up.
Gone again, and look, he's posing like the natural, like the ball is leaving the yard. It's in the glove, and another punch out for Nola.
And again, it's about timing. This time, the cambio, the changeup works really well. 91 miles per hour. You see that action right there. Two-seamer. Wow, it moved like a changeup. It stayed up, but again, that's the same pitch he struck him out on the first time in the fourth inning.
It's a pitch you talked about with him that he was worried about before this game, about getting locked up. Twice tonight, he swung through it.
Shift on. Adames, strike one. Again, getting ahead of the hitter.
Okay.
Nine strikeouts for Nola. Slow roller, that's Segura. And he will throw it out. Best coverage in today's game. Let's take a look at the first inning through the T-Mobile multi-view. So he kind of sets up the next pickoff throw there.
He does, and then he looks at Adames' body language. How do you go back to the bag? Do you hustle back when I don't throw, or are you flat-footed? And because he was flat-footed, he was able to get him out on the next pitch. Guys, how about Aaron Nola? And second time around the lineup, he's a 283 hitters hit against him. Third time around the lineup, it's actually lower at 262. It usually goes up, not with Aaron Nola.
That's been working so well. Another knuckle curve at right around 79 miles an hour, and he gets ahead. Very dangerous hitter, though, Rowdy Tellez. 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. That's down.
It's just the value of being a workhorse too. Nola just gives so many innings. One of the, we said the premier workhorse in the major leagues over the last 5 years in terms of innings pitched.
And nobody has more. That was a surprise. Like I would have thought Scherzer would probably have been that guy. He never comes out of games.
Yeah, it's that guy.
It's that guy right there, Aaron Nola.
And Joe Girardi said that this, if it would have been a regular spring training, this would have been his opening day type start.
Yep. Misses away. Tellez, the first baseman this season. It's been a bit of a revolving door at first base since Brewers fans will tell you since Prince Fielder played there 10 years ago. They had Thames and Jesus Aguilar. They both left after 2019. Had a couple of homers in that National League Division Series last year when they were desperate for any offense. Strikeout rate was cut down dramatically. Good start statistically this year. Here's the next one. Just missed on the inside corner. 91.
Well, one thing Nola's done very well tonight is mix both of his fastballs in, the 4-seamer and the 2-seamer. We talked about how that protects that good curveball. Makes it much more effective.
Bohm is in shallow right with the shift on. 3-1 critical pitch. Curveball in there, 3-2. How about a 3-1 knuckle curve?
I'll tell you what, I'd be very surprised right now if he goes 3-2 fastball. If he does, Tellez takes, hats off to Nola.
Harper and the rest of the Phillies look on. Here he comes. He did challenge him, Eddie, with the fastball.
Good for him, man. Again, that's why Tellez was late. Because as a hitter, you're like, 3-1 curveball. He started me off, and you see it in the top left, the sequence. Goes off with the changeup, and then after that, comes in and just throws fastball. Then another cutter, and all fastballs until that knuckle curve.
Brad Hand is warming in the Phillies pen. Nola 9 strikeouts. He's got 22 career double-digit strikeout games. Will not get it there. Oh, what a play by Segura from his knees. He got him. There's a web gem, and it keeps the runner off and ends the inning. Brings the Philly crowd to its feet. A smile to the face of Segura. Diving to his right. Snares a hard hit ball from Rowdy Tellez on a tough hop. He is the +10 guy. Outs above average. He's the guy. Been treated to a terrific pitcher's duel. A big strike zone and good pitchers. The recipe for a lot of strikeouts. Aaron Nola, dynamite tonight, continues to get better. Joe Girardi said, keep an eye out. Feels like he's beginning to get into a groove. And boy, Eric Lauer is a revelation. Really came on last year, and he continues to join the ranks of the Corbin Burns and Woodruffs and Peraltas on that really, really solid Brewers staff. Take a look at our game track brought to you by Geico. 0-0. Only one hit for Milwaukee against Nola. 6 innings, 5 hits, a career high 13 strikeouts. Nola likely done with 9 strikeouts, 7 innings. The 2 DHs tonight combined 0 for 6, 5 strikeouts, Yelich and Harper. And on the mound now for the Milwaukee Brewers is Brad Boxberger. Back in 2009, the first-round pick of the Reds out of USC. Throws a fastball around 94 to 96. Uses it about 56% of the time, so we'll just jump out of the gate with an off-speed pitch. He will throw a slider and a changeup. And here's more zeros when it comes to ERA. Next one misses away. Alec Boehm was part of that bases loaded situation in the 5th. He got stranded at third base when Rhys Hoskins struck out. That's a good pitch. It's a 4-seam fastball at 92 miles an hour. You know, we didn't really go back to the Cabrera 3,000 hit, but there's just not a lot of guys who are in the on-deck circle for 3,000 hits. And with the specialty in pitching, the short 5-6 innings that starters give you and all these arms, there's an increased chance it's going to be a long time, if maybe ever, before we see another 3,000 hit guy.
I think it's going to be a while.
Long while.
A long while. And you look at the players that have the opportunity to do it, and you probably have to go back all the way maybe to even if it's a Juan Soto type player. And you never know with all the walks that he's going to end up receiving because it's such a good eye. Miguel Cabrera came into the league as a teenager, and he was able to stay healthy most of his career.
Well, that's the key. You got to come early and stay late. Get to the big leagues when you're 20 years old. Stay till you're 40.
Right now it's like Altuve's, I think 34% chance to do it, but he's got to have like 175 hits a year for the next 7 years.
I think you threw up a great comp. You know, Juan Soto, how young he was when he got to the big leagues. Already a veteran player, and what is he? Is he legal yet? 22? What is 23?
He's young, and he's good too.
Accumulated a lot of numbers at a young age.
Yeah, and Wander Franco, but boy, the money's going to be so huge for those guys. Does the 3,000 become a carrot to keep you in the game that long? 1 ball, 1 strike, swing, and a foul.
You look at Cabrera and Miguel, and it's about the love of the game, right? With him, he enjoys playing the game.
Aaron Mays Miggy, 3,500, 300 batting average in a career. There's all sorts of short lists he's on. 33 have had 3,000 with 7, and now this list. He's a legendary hitter.
You can't fake your way on that list.
And I love the fact that you just cannot play the shift on him in the infield. You can't do, you have to play him straight up. Wherever there's a big hole, he will attack.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Buster?
Yeah, and it was classic that Miguel Cabrera got his number 3,000 on a hit to right field because he announced himself with authority on the national stage in the 2003 World Series with a home run everybody remembers against Roger Clemens in the World Series. He got dusted off and then took a home run to right field.
Back up the middle, ranging to his left, Adames. Nice play, and Camargo retired. Yeah, I mean, the homer is the memorable part, but there's no doubt it needs the context of what happened prior when the kid got nearly decapitated by Clemens, got back up and stood his ground and went yard.
He got a full bow tie from Roger Clemens previously before that homer.
I remember my dad being in that organization and telling me, wait till you see this kid hit Miguel Cabrera, and he was right on the money. That shows character when you can go that way after being dusted off. Did he not have his first home run in the big leagues? First hit be a home run, 1,000th hit be a home run, 2,000th be a home run.
Odubel Herrera will bat now for Matt Vierling with the righty on the mound. Swings at the first one, spinner to third. Peterson, Odubel, quick. Boxberger, outstanding, backing up Lauer. Miguel Cabrera, no Venezuelan-born player, has more hits. And Jose Iglesias, the first to grab hold of the big fella. Congratulations, Miggy, from all of us. Welcome back, everyone. ESPN's telecast of Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. Here you go. Jay Wright just recently stepped away from his coaching duties at Villanova, and the new head coach is Kyle Neptune. He was at Fordham last year. Basketball Hall of Famer. So Jay Wright, he's a basketball guy that can throw a pitch, which is great.
I was impressed.
And he can pull off a baseball uniform untucked and make it look like he just walked out of a GQ magazine. All
Hair
of
was
that.
perfect, right?
All of that.
Coiffed.
Juris Familia on for the Philadelphia Phillies as we start the 8th inning of a 0-0 game. Hunter Renfroe, 3 hits yesterday, including a home run to right center. Familia's first pitch in there for a strike. And so how are we doing in a 1-0 game at this ballpark? There have been 18 1-0 games at Citizens Bank since it opened in 04. The last was in 2015. Renfroe got jammed, and this one is shallow, coming hard. Odubel Herrera, welcome to the game. Boy, Odubel had to run far for that one, and that's a big play. You got a tip of the cap from Familia. Schwarber happy to see Herrera into the game.
How about this jump right here? You can appreciate it. He recognizes it immediately, comes in, notices where Schwarber is, and lays out. Comes in hard. Yes, that's Odubel Herrera without the dreads. Looks a lot younger.
Nice play. Little eye wash on the end.
It's an out. I'll take it.
Ball will find you right. You're stuck. You're stuck in. Come in as a pinch hitter, and right away you're in center field. Odubel makes a nice play, and now it's Omar Narvaez. Devin Williams is up in the bullpen for the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers had a scheduled day off tomorrow, but because of the lockout, they missed a 3-game set with the Giants. So they're going home tomorrow for 1 game. Then they go back to Pittsburgh.
And if you're the San Francisco Giants, that's a great sight to see. You got Devin Williams warming up.
Yeah.
Yesterday pitched, did not throw many pitches, but this will pretty much guarantee that he gets a day off tomorrow no matter what.
Familia on, and the 1-0 to Narvaez. Swing and a miss. So how about the Andrew McCutchen kind of reality tour? He's obviously a Brewer now. He played 3 years for Philadelphia. Then tomorrow he goes to take on the Giants, who he played for. Then they fly to Pittsburgh, where he played. He's seeing his past in his present.
and his future when he goes home, because that's where the kids will be.
In Pittsburgh. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Colton Wong is in the on-deck circle for the Brewers. A bat for Keston Hiura.
Couple of things you always know with Familia is that he's going to throw hard, high velocity, a lot of movement, and a lot of grunting on the mound.
Were you a grunter?
I was not a grunter.
You didn't become one either?
No.
Sure about that?
I didn't grunt. You know, the first guy I heard grunt was Nolan Ryan, and he used to do it on his changeup. He'd throw a grunt changeup. I don't know if that was by design or not, but the Nolan Ryan grunt changeup was something to behold.
Is that a design pitch, sort of like Lauer with his design pitches?
Trying to trick you.
Yeah, if I'm going to grunt, I'm figuring this is coming. This is smoked instead of changeup. 3-2. I'm surprised. So Nolan Ryan's grunting didn't motivate you, like he was one of the greatest ever. You didn't.
I could never get the. I just couldn't get it part of my thing. You know. I just.
Do you think you snore at night?
I definitely snore.
You do. Another 3-2. Narvaez, swing and a miss. Familia blew it by him. A sinker at 94 away to the lefty.
This is Roundup for Lawns. This stuff works. This stuff kills weeds down to the root without killing your lawn. This stuff works on dandelions, crabgrass, clover. This stuff works for up to 3 months. This stuff works guaranteed or your money back. This is Roundup for Lawns. This stuff works.
2 down. Colton Wong bats for the first time tonight. A good Gold Glove worthy second baseman, 31 years young. Cardinals first round pick in 2011 out of the University of Hawaii. Shift on for Wong, swings shallow right. Late jump for Castellanos, but he's under it and he makes the play. Good inning for Jeurys Familia. We will say so long and thank you to Bryce Harper. We'll check in with him one more time as we head to the bottom of the 8th. A 0-0 game. Tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on ESPN+. The first game of a 3-game set between the Dodgers and Diamondbacks at Chase Field. The Dodgers a 10 spot today. Freeman went deep. A couple of home runs from Bellinger as well. Our game next week, Sunday Night Baseball. The Phillies and the Mets finish up their 3-game series at Citi Field. We'll be on ESPN. Michael Kay and A-Rod with the K-Rod presentation. ESPN2. It's also available on Deportes and radio. Our coverage begins 6 Eastern on ESPN and the app. The Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown.
Well, we had a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel from the starters, and we talked a lot about Lauer and his changing of his arm path. He cleaned it up, he shortened it up, and not only has his velocity increased as you see all these swings and misses on all high fastballs, the deception has increased as well. And then Aaron Nolan on this side, we talked about his curveball. Has it been just as effective as it has been in the past? Well, tonight it was. He threw enough 4-seam fastballs and enough 2-seam fastballs to keep them off of that good curveball.
Colton Wong's got to be ready. Odubel Herrera came in, made a great play as a defensive replacement after pinch hitting, and now Wong stays in the field to play second. Devin Williams is on the mound. You see those numbers, they belie who Devin Williams has been. A little bumpy start with that high ERA. First pitch pulls it way outside, a fastball at 94. Top of the order for the Phillies, Segura, Hoskins, Harper. Corey Knebel warms in that Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. It's his money pitch, the changeup he missed. Count goes to 2-0.
That's the pitch he needs to get called in order for hitters to continue to chase it out of the zone. Angel Hernandez has not called pitches down, but he has everywhere else.
Segura. That's another one with a lot of movement on it, but he misses, and just like that, Williams in and behind 3-0. One walk allowed by Lauer. That came in the 5th inning. And he missed with that. 4 pitches and a walk from Devin Williams. Good start to the 8th for the Phillies.
Not the start you want, especially with Segura, who has above average speed at first base. Not the speed he once had when he first came up to the big leagues, but still a very good base runner. Right side of the infield will be completely open. Let's see how he attacks Rhys Hoskins here.
Hoskins flew out to left, and then he struck out twice, the 3rd and the 5th. Not going, and there's the first pitch. That's a ball. Narvaez has made great strides in his ability to frame pitches. Didn't get the call there.
Zone's getting a little tighter right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's regardless of where the zone is, you just want consistency on both sides. And if he's calling it the same way for both sides, then you can live with it. That's where the chirping's coming from the Milwaukee side right now. All of a sudden, like Eduardo said, the zone is tightening up.
1-0, no. He'll throw over to first, and Segura dives back. Yeah, we had a whole conversation about Narvaez's improvement when it comes to framing. That hasn't been the difference tonight.
It's hard to tell tonight, right?
Exactly. Hoskins love to get a hit with a runner on. That's in there for a strike.
I do know that's one of the best names for a pitch, as you mentioned, nicknaming your pitches, is Devin Williams' changeup, the airbender. That's exactly what it does, too. 43 inches of drop, vertical movement on that airbending changeup.
And it comes in, it just looks even slower than the 81 miles an hour. This ball, left field, it's playable. McCutchen puts his glove up, and he's there to make the play. This is one of those nights in Philadelphia, guys. It was supposed to be early this week about 80. It's now about 55 degrees, so the ball is not going to carry.
It's not. This one got in on him a bit, ran into him. You see he hit it just above the label. Wasn't able to get those arms extended. No secret that the changeup is coming. Now, it's the discipline that Bryce has to have to look for it up. And Devin Williams, if he's going to throw the fastball, has to make it as a fastball up in the upper quadrant for it to be effective.
Excellent fastball hitter, Harper. Challenged him with heat, 94, moving away from him.
It's about a 10-mile-an-hour differential between fastball and changeup from Williams.
Bryce has seen 12, now 13 pitches with this first one here. All 13 pitches have been away, nothing inside.
Back at Williams. On the run, he throws, and back to first. Harper beat it out. The inning will stay alive. Tough play with the shift on. Adames had to kind of go from the second base side back to the bag, and that may have given enough time for Harper to get there.
Change-up grip, bending the air off the end of the bat, and a really nifty little play by Williams to even make this close, to be able to get that throw off and have a chance to turn it. Got an athlete out there on the mound.
Oh, he still thinks he can hit, too. Had a conversation with him earlier. Big Cardinals fan growing up as he grew up in the St. Louis area. And he's like, I can hit. or at least I used to be able to hit.
Nick Castellanos came over the same time. Schwarber, Hand, part of the Dave Dombrowski revamping of this Phillies team. Castellanos been really good so far. He singled his first time up, and then a couple of strikeouts. Big swing and a miss.
Well, there's no doubt about the mission statement for Dave Dombrowski wherever he goes. I mean, he's brought in for one reason only.
3 letters.
Yes.
W-I-N. Now.
We're not looking to rebuild here.
Nope.
Tremendous wrist action on that air-bending changeup. He gets tremendous spin on it as well. It's not your normal changeup.
Late and fooled. 95, and this is what makes Williams so filthy.
The high spin rate on a changeup is really remarkable when you think about it. And then the movement, obviously 7 inches more drop, vertical movement than the normal average changeup, and horizontal as well. Goes down and moves side to side.
0-2 to Castellanos. Segura going. Did he check his swing? They'll check first. No, he didn't. Strikeout Castellanos. That'll end the bottom of the 8th. We still have zeros on the board, and that was impressive. Devin Williams. Download the MLB app, get video highlights, live pitch by pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and a lot more for your favorite team and the rest of the league. The MLB app. And you can suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your favorite team at MLBshop.com. All right, boys, we're seeing the big guns tonight. Now you got Corey Knebel, and then in the Brewers pen, Josh Hader is warming up. We get Jace Peterson to start. 8, 9, and 1 due up, and the first pitch from Knebel, who's been lights out. It's in there at 95 miles an hour for a strike.
Interesting move here. Joe Girardi bringing in his main guy, Knebel, to make sure that his offense has a chance to win it in the bottom of the 9th inning. Definitely high leverage because it is the top of the 9th inning, but you have the bottom of the order up. And decides to go with Knebel here.
That misses off close too. Curveball, and now the fans are barking again at the home plate umpire, Angel Hernandez. 2 balls and a strike. They play Peterson straight up. Bohm in on the edge of the grass at third. Shallow center field, going out. Careful, that drops right in between Herrera and Camargo, and you can see it as Camargo backed off, wondering if Odubel would get there.
Odubel, at no moment did he call for this ball, and then he looked down, and once he looked down, you know this ball was going to fall. Camargo going back hard, Odubel coming in. No one calls for it, and both hesitate, literally right in the middle. Hesitation right on the jump. Point of contact, I think, is what cost Herrera from even being uber aggressive and calling it.
So leadoff man aboard, good athlete. Peterson, decent speed at first. Tyrone Taylor, as Knebel will throw over. Chance for the Brewers, and again, Hader lurking in that bullpen. 0-0, 9th inning. Taylor waits on one, sends it to right. Good jump. Castellanos will throw to first, but Getting back in time is Peterson. Real good read from Nick Castellanos.
Again, the days of the bunt are gone. Usually used to see this back in the day. This one with the 9-hole hitter. Castellanos makes a play and knows he does not have one at first, so he just throws it in, making sure does not throw it over. A 1.64 to the plate by Corey Knebel. That is pretty slow, even with a good arm of JT Realmuto behind the plate.
McCutchen 0 for 3. Great starts tonight from Eric Lauer and Aaron Nola. Now the bullpens, Familia, Knebel, Boxberger, Williams. Pitching zeros. Breaking pitch, not in there. Almost looked like Knebel wanted that. Kazon has it. It's just above the zone, or certainly a top of the zone for a strike. Still ball 1. Pulled outside. 1 runner as far as second all game for the Brewers.
Yeah, it's been shutdown city for them offensively tonight.
2 hits.
Phillies have had some traffic, had the bases loaded at one point.
Yeah. The veteran McCutchen ahead 2-0. 2-1. Good fastball in the corner.
First 2 pitches to McCutchen. Knebel tried to be a little bit quicker with his delivery, a 1-5. This time 2-0, was slower to the plate, ends up being a 1-6-4. Was able to throw it for a strike.
Two and 1. Peterson leaning at first and going. That ball into center. It's going to get down. Peterson heads to third. Odubel will get it and fire back in. But a big hit from McCutchen, and the Brewers in business, men on the corners, and 1 out in the 9th.
This is Craig Counsell baseball, right? Put the runner in action. JT Realmuto thinking he might have a chance, but Corey Knebel slow again to the plate. Peterson gets a good jump, and just by the sound of it, doesn't even peek in, is aware of where the ball is, doesn't hesitate, gets to third standing up, and McCutchen, putting himself in a hitter's standpoint there, 2-1, barrels it right back up the middle.
Yeah, instead of a hit and run, a run and hit. And if that ball's in the gap just a little bit more, he might score.
Yep, good speed now at third base. McCutchen at first. Infield for the Phillies, pinching in for Christian Yelich.
I don't care if he's 0 for 2, 0 for 3, 0 for 10. I have to pitch him carefully, knowing that still a base is open.
Fastball inside. He sends it to the screen.
Watch how late he is getting that foot down, and by the time that fastball gets there, there's no way he can get that bat head to that inside part of the plate.
Yeah, that's not an 0-2 pitch. That's a first pitch of the at-bat.
Thing is, we showed earlier his hard hit rate being the best Major League Baseball. Yes, he is hitting the ball down on the ground, but with the infield where they are right now, he can definitely hit it hard enough to get it by them.
Yep. 1-1 to Yelich. First and third, 0-0 ninth inning. Corey Knebel inside. Yelich has to get out of the way of that. Now, I've heard great hitters set up pitchers with a swing like maybe you saw on the first one. We don't think that's what's going on here right now with Yelich, but I've heard that with other hitters. Like
well, those are the great ones,
right?
And don't get me wrong, Yelich definitely has that potential of always being in that. But right now, that wasn't a setup on that first pitch.
2 balls and a strike. Yelich, this is to left. Schwarber does not have a good arm. Peterson will tag in front of the track. Schwarber comes to second, and a Yelich sacrifice fly gives the Brewers a 1-0 lead in the ninth.
They were pounding him hard in the entire time. And right there, watch where this pitch goes. It leaks out over the plate. Christian lets it travel, and that's where he can get the bat head out. And he's just too good. Focuses, drives in the run.
That could not have gone better for the Brewers now. You use Williams, who was great, and now Hader is prepared to come in with the Brewers on top of the ninth. Shot, shortstop, caught by Johan Camargo. But that sets the table for Realmuto, Schwarber, and Bohm. Haderade, Josh Hader coming in, trying to get the Brewers a win. NFL draft less than a week away. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll have every pick. Once again on ESPN, along with our usual expert analysis. It's also available on the NFL Network, and ABC's coverage focuses on the prospects' journey to the draft. All 3 days are also on ESPN Deportes. They have their eyes on the draft, as well as the NBA playoffs, and now they're hoping for a 9th inning comeback from the Phillies against the dude that doesn't give up many. Josh Hader, 7 for 7 in save opportunities. 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. Opponents are 2 for 23, an .087 batting average against. Craig Counsell recently made the comment that no one has started a career as a reliever better than Josh Hader.
Balls inside.
Pitch called a ball, and it got a lot of the K-zone. Off speed, Realmuto in the hole. Adames, good throw, got him by half a step. That's a quick runner right there, JT Realmuto, and Willie Adames makes the play in the hole at short.
Know your surroundings, right, Coney? You understand that it's JT Realmuto at the plate. He reaches out for it, so he gets a better jump out of the box, and yet a strong throw, not rushing it, just being accurate and understanding who that batter hitter is.
If you're going to play shortstop in the big leagues, that's kind of the prototypical throw, right? And you got to make this throw if you're going to play that position, and Adames more than had enough on that one.
Plant that back foot and fire a fastball overhand and overhead. Hader threw 11 pitches yesterday, and now Schwarber. First pitch, slider, strike 1. Oh, and 2. I don't know, Bryce, can you hear us again?
Yeah, I got you.
I just want to say thank you for all your time tonight. We really appreciate it.
No doubt, I appreciate it. And the guy next week, got to go with Mr. Smile, Francisco Lindor.
Thanks, man, very much for being a part of this tonight.
No problem, guys.
Really
Thanks.
appreciate it. All right,
see you.
That's Bryce Harper. 0-2 to Schwarber. And that one misses away. You know, to his credit, and to the credit of the Vottos and Kike Hernandez, it's like there is an awareness that this is resonating, that the viewer, the consumer, loves to hear these things from the players, as long as you're not interfering with what they're doing on the field. They've been great about it. And Harper's been a big proponent of exposure to the players, getting them out there.
Oh, he's a fan.
Yeah.
The names he mentioned, the players that he's seen and played against, he appreciates that talent.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Power on power. Hader misses away. That's 98 miles an hour.
One of the keys to Hader is not only his stuff, but that dynamic lower half motion that he has. The coil, the way he almost turns his back to the hitter, generates as much with his lower half as anybody in the game. Aroldis Chapman similar with that coil. And
yes.
Even though he's pitching from the stretch, gets a lot of drive with his hip rotation.
Here it comes. Called strike 3, and Schwarber is thrown out of the game, and he had zero issue with getting thrown out. Making it very clear, you've missed him inside, outside, up and down. Kyle Schwarber thrown out after being punched out by Angel Hernandez, and Joe may go too. Well, Schwarber is speaking for both sides tonight. We saw a lot of those demonstrations, none like that, but we certainly saw them as the players were going back to the bench.
Carl, I don't blame Kyle Schwarber one bit. As a hitter, the one pitch that you can't come back from is strike 3. At home, you know. I don't care if you're a Brewer fan, a Philly fan, a baseball fan, period. If you're not, this right here is where it's been all night. Inconsistent, frustrating for the hitters. The score dictates it. When you have a nasty guy like Josh Hader on the mound, everything that Kyle Schwarber is showing right there, he's not air traffic control right there.
I'm surprised it took this long for somebody to have that kind of an outburst.
Alec Bohm, last chance for the Phillies. Ball 1. I mean, you don't need to read lips. His point was they're calling him over here, up there, and he pointed. The Brewers are saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing.
And the thing is, it's been, for both sides.
Yeah. Philadelphia hitters tonight have struck out 16 times. And Bohm may be the 17th. Brewers hitters 10 strikeouts. One run in the 9th scored by the Brewers. Hader trying to make it stand up. 1-2. That ball to right, going back is Renfroe at the track. He makes the play. And that ends the game. The Milwaukee Brewers take the series, winning 2 out of 3. Williams gets the win. Knebel gets the loss. Hader picks up the save. And for only the 19th time since this ballpark opened, the game ends 1-0. You like that? That's a pitcher's duel, buddy.
Old school pitcher's duel with a little help from the man in the blue.
Well, again, special thanks to Bryce Harper and all the players who have made the microphone and the earpiece possible. Look forward to Francisco Lindor next Sunday for the Phillies and the Mets. That will do it from here at Citizens Bank Park. For Eduardo Perez, David Cohen, Buster Olney, and our entire crew, including our producer, Andy Jacobson, I'm Carl Ravitch. Sports Center with John Anderson, Nicole Briscoe. Live postgame with Andrew McCutcheon. Warriors going for the sweep in Denver. Late inning drama in Houston, Minnesota. Here is Sports Center.